Hi Global Health students, welcome back to our Module 2 presentation. Thus far we have focused on the importance of economic globalization and its impact on demographic issues and infectious diseases. Now all three components focus on each other and impact each other. And now let's bring in water. The water issues are many, but in this presentation we will focus on both the quantity and the quality, and both the inadequacy and the poor quality of our water. Only 3% of our globe's water resources are fresh water. This is where we are focused because this is the water that we depend on every single day. When we look at fresh water, we can see in this pie chart that 30% of all our fresh water are found in the polar ice caps. And the real issue with water is the decreasing availability because of our increasing usage. This is one of my favorite presentations I found, pictures I found in National Geographic a few years ago. This is a well, a water well in Gujarat, India, and all the folks lined up to collect water from the well. In Gujarat, they receive less than 8 inches of rainfall each year, and the temperatures each summer soar to 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Just imagine. The greatest decreases of water can be found in northern China, which are this country's major grain growing regions. And for the last Olympics, China had to prohibit farming for everyone within 50 miles of Beijing. There was too much of a stress on water. And as you can see from this image I found also in National Geographic, water levels are falling 5 feet per year in some areas of China. These are some articles I found in our popular media and some newspapers and online websites. Everyone should be very familiar with the water issues that we face here in the United States, particularly in the East Coast. You may recall some of the more prominent legal issues associated with water control, like those around Lake Lanier and Wyoming, and the Montana lawsuits. NASA scientists are predicting a mega drought in the United States in the coming decades. And the definition of a mega drought is one that lasts more than 10 years. It's absolutely frightening, our dependence on water. Globally, we can see water availability decreasing in much of the world, in particular in areas of China, South Asia, Africa, and in particular, South Africa. These maps that I've shared, these three here, highlight over time the decreasing water availability. We can see a severe water issue in countries that have both a declining water availability and an increasing population demand and population usage. I created this chart with little people as our bar graphs, increasing populations living with water stress over time. Water stress is defined as less than 1,000 cubic meters of water per person per year. In the year 2030, 47% of the world's population is predicted to experience water stress. This increase is frightening, absolutely frightening. Water stress occurs when the demand for water exceeds the available amount during a certain period of time, or when poor quality water restricts its usage. Water stress causes the deterioration of freshwater resources in terms of quantity, such as aquifer overexploitation, dry rivers, etc., and quality, which means eutrophication, organic matter pollution, saline intrusion, etc. As water availability decreases, water quality decreases because people must use what is available to them. And this leads to many, many issues, as you can imagine. Unclean water makes people sick, and there's so many issues that will spurn from this big challenge. UNICEF is spearheading a water quality program throughout the developing world, and this is just one initiative that they're focused on: soaps, toilets, and taps. Water and health. 50% of malnutrition is related to unclean water, poor sanitation, or lack of hygiene. This represents larger numbers than have died from HIV/AIDS and malaria. But those are from one single infectious agent, and diarrhea are from many, many infectious pathogens: Shigella, dysentery, cholera, etc. 1.8 million die from diarrheal diseases annually, and most of these are children and infants under 5 years old. And this significantly occurs every day in developing countries. This is a geographical distribution of deaths attributable to water, sanitation, and hygiene. As you can see, the band across Africa and down its spine is significantly dark blue, where the big issues occur. 200 children die every hour due to unsafe water. 200 children every hour. More than 50% of all hospital beds in the world are relegated to diseases related to unsafe water. The International Center for Diarrheal Diseases in Bangladesh is a very important center for research around these issues. They're the real hub that produces all the research, all the scientific research around diarrheal diseases. This slide highlights a fantastic global public health program opportunity in Bangladesh. We copied this from the ICDDRB website, and the link is located here on this slide. One of my friends from Columbia School of Public Health ended up working in Bangladesh on focusing on diarrheal diseases, and he's published so many papers. There's a lot of research coming out of there. So as you can see through this module that we've just, this driver that we've just worked on, water is a very important public health issue. We need to continue to focus on both its quality and its quantity. And this is also associated with environmental degradation, which is the next driver that we will focus on. And we'll stop here.